Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at MIDI-to-Poly, the MIDI-to-Poly module inside of Drambo. And I'm using 4 SynthMaster 2s to give you an idea of what the kind of very cool stuff you can do. So before I get into actually showing you how to set this up from scratch, I'll play you this tiny project I've got going. It's a couple of scenes, and the first scene that we'll play will be this one. Now I'll be doing a tutorial on the Bernoulli gate as well, because that's super duper. So the Bernoulli gate is kind of controlling all these. There's 2 little drum shots going on here, and then in the last one, I'll just quickly show you here. In the last one, it's just this flexi sampler playing this kind of it's just a sample, and it's just doing that, but it's very nice. But you'll hear the effect of the Bernoulli gate, not the Bernoulli gate, you'll hear the Bernoulli gate straight away, but you'll hear the effect of SynthMaster when it gets to scene number 3 sort of thing. So I'll just play this for you. Okay, so what you're hearing there on the SynthMaster is each time I press a key, the first time I press the key, this SynthMaster will play. The second time I press a key, this one will play. The third time, this one, and then this one. And if we look at the actual, if we go into the routing here, you'll see that this is connected to MIDI-to-Poly 1. Now, MIDI-to-Poly 1 allows 4 instances of this. For each MIDI-to-Poly, you can set up as many as you like. So if I press the first one now, let's go back and go, that's this, and then this. And what's cool is if you play it kind of like or you program a sequencing, you get this kind of very cool effect where every single note is different. Now you could set them to the same sound and then make slight adjustments, etc. But the real cool stuff, I think personally, is just changing out sounds. Okay. Brilliant. So let's set one of these up from scratch. Oh yeah, just before I do this last one here, sorry, this pad sound is from SynthMaster 1. And it's a pad, and it's called But to Dream. Now I honestly don't know where this comes from, but it's in there somewhere. And what a lovely, absolutely one of my favorite sounds this is. In fact it's one of my favorited sounds. So lovely. Right, enough of that. Let's go. I just want to start back there and save this. Bink. And let's just go and create a new project. So new, we'll just go 8 tracks, made the CV. Right. So first of all, the actual MIDI-to-Poly it's the very first thing. So you can either take that out and add it back in, or we can just move it to the right and get this little flashing plus button and go and find it. I think it's in utilities here. So we're looking for, actually, is it in utilities? Might be in MIDI, actually, probably in MIDI. So we're looking for MIDI-to-Poly. There it is, MIDI-to-Poly. So there's loads of cool stuff you can do. So MIDI-to-Poly, MIDI-to-CV, and now all we need to do is add in an instrument. Now, bearing in mind, if you add in a Drambo instrument, you'll need to add an ADSR as well, unless you use one of the pre-built instruments sort of thing. But we're going to use SynthMaster because it has lots of brilliant sounds. So audio unit extension here. We'll just go in and find SynthMaster. Let's go to the top. SynthMaster 2. Okay, so SynthMaster 2. So here's our first one. And you'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time it cycles round, it'll play that first one. It's got a sound first for this. Let's open it up a little bit. I mean, you can use any sound you like. Let's try and find some sort of, I don't know, belt. This one I like. There we go. This is a cool sound. Now, let's look at the connections, okay? So, SynthMaster, we click on this, and this wants to be hooked up to MIDI-to-Poly 1. Now, it's already done that for us because it's the first thing to do. And if we click on this, this also wants to be hooked up to MIDI-to-Poly, okay? So both of them go to MIDI-to-Poly. Let's just do that now, it's fine. Let's add another MIDI-to-CV. So MIDI to CV. Let's add another SynthMaster. In fact, I could have just pasted these, but maybe it's easier if I actually do it. So let's go open here. We do it this way. Search synth. There we go. SynthMaster 2. Bosh. Now the second one here, we want to connect to number 2, and this SynthMaster we want to connect to number 2. All right, so now I'm just going to get a sound here. Doesn't matter what, really. In fact, we want some sort of lead sound. Don't worry, you're not going to actually hear anything just yet because we need to add a mixer. So, oh, that's crap in it though. That'll do for now. All right. And then we'll repeat this process again. So add this in and we'll add MIDI to CV. We'll add another SynthMaster. So generator here, search. Where's my at? SynthMaster 2. SynthMaster 2. And I won't worry about the sounds yet. I'll sort the sounds out when you can. So we've got 3 so far. So now this third MIDI to CV, we're connecting to number 3 on the MIDI-to-Poly. And this one, we're also connecting to number 3 on the MIDI-to-Poly. And then we'll do this one more time. And I won't skip this so you'll get any idea of how you build this up. So MIDI to CV and generator, audio unit, and SynthMaster 2, SynthMaster 2. And we'll make our last connection, close that a sec. We'll make our last connection here. So this one now wants to go to number 4. And this one also wants to go to number 4. Now what we need to do is add in a mixer. Okay. Now once you've done this once, you can save this as an instrument if you want, of course. Let's add in a mixer now. So just an ordinary mixer. First one we will send to SynthMaster 2. Second one we will send to our second SynthMaster. Third one to our fourth SynthMaster. And this one to this SynthMaster. Now, every time I press a key, it changes sound. So let's find some good sounds. In fact, let's push the volume up as well because it's quite quiet. Drambo always tends to err on the side of caution. Right, so that first sounds fine. Let's listen to, let's find something for our second sound. And maybe I don't know, maybe some sort of synth lead. That's that one. That's quite nice, actually. Let's go to our third SynthMaster Hill and look for a sound. Go to browse. I tend to find that like kind of ambient echoey sounds sound really nice. So let's see. Actually, that's quite nice. Of course, you can make adjustments to the sound as well. And let's find the last one for our last SynthMaster here. Let's go into browse. Some piano and key sounds are really nice. Oh, what's this? Right. Or maybe I've got some really cool sounds. What's this? So piano, Waldorf keys. There's so many great sounds. Okay. Oh, this might be nice. I can't really hear that one. It's cool because it's doing that Claire de Lune vibe. So what's this? Oh yeah, perfect. So we close this now. So when you play a sort of, well, for example, if we just put in 4 of these, it's just going to go through the 4 sounds. But isn't that really cool? But what starts to sound really cool is when we kind of it's nice, but we can also kind of just leave it on the same note and add in extra bits and pieces just for a bit of extra madness. You can do this with any synth, of course, and like we could go, right, okay, well, what happens if we start changing sounds here? Cool. Sounds nice. What about something different on this one? Maybe a different one on there. Nice. make things a little bit more interesting as well, let's add in a quickly add in a shot sampler here. Let's go and load up some hi-hats or something where we've got some percussion. Let's see what we've got in. Let's see what we've got in percussion. These are all included, by the way, in Drambo. I think I've got one of mine and Joe's samples there, so I'll stick that in. Done. And I'll just put in some steps here. Let's do the offset a little bit. And on track 3, we can maybe stick in a kick, an analog kick generator here. You got yourself a little groove going, you know. But it sounds really interesting because it's constantly playing these different notes every time a note is triggered with MIDI-to-Poly. It doesn't really work with polyphonic, okay? So, but for mono, it's great. And then you could go and set up a completely another track. So, you know, you're not limited. I think it sounds smashing. I've got, by the way, if we go into settings here, and I have my view set at 110%. If I go back to 100, you'll see that this gets bigger and this gets smaller, but I prefer to see more of the rack actually. And it offsets the MIDI input, so it makes it a little bit easier to follow. Don't forget you have to add your mixer as well. But then again, you can go in and then you can add LFOs to whatever you like. So yeah. Okay guys, basically that's it. I'm gonna go back to my other project and explain a little bit more about that before I go. But if that's all you needed to know, you're good to go with setting that up, your MIDI-to-Poly. And of course you can use different synthesizers. You can use a mixture of any AUV3, any included internal instruments, stuff like that. And you know, it's great. It really is good fun. All right, let's see. I'm going to, do I need to save this? Might be worth a save. I'll just call this something like MIDI to Poly 2, because I've got my other one saved, so I'll just save that. And I will open up the SynthMaster 2 MIDI-to-Poly. So, ding, and just quickly explain about this. The Bernoulli gate, right? The Bernoulli gate has 2 inputs. I'm going to do a tutorial on this, and you can set inputs for 2 things, and then it will kind of randomly generate. Now, all this stuff's not necessary. The feedback delay network, the flange, the modal resonator, that was literally just to make the sound more interesting and it vary. So I had some stuff going on with that. And of course you have a mixer for everything. But I'm going to do one on this. But yeah, awesome stuff. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to play out that little sequence anyway. And yeah, I'll see you later. Ta-da.